Hey, what's up guys? My name's Stu Original, and for this video I want to talk about checking off and also why you do it in the game, and just kind of explain it a little bit more. I had a guy who asked me about it, so I definitely want to make a little video for him. So pretty much what checking off is. Checking off is pretty much surveying the field before you're making that next move. So basically you're making a check off. You're checking the field and make sure it's clear before you're making that next move. No matter in what situation you're in, like almost every time that you make a bump down the field, you want to be checking off the field. It doesn't matter if you're making a small bump or anything, you want to check off the inside of the field before you make that next move. It pretty much, it just is going to increase your survivability. It's going to really help you make that next move nice and safe and sound. And then you're not going to be moving into a random gun. I see a lot of times people won't even make that check on the inside of the field. They just feel no one's shooting at me. They say, I think I got it, and they go ahead and make that move. But no matter what, you always want to look around on that next bunker to make sure that no one is shooting at you and no one's waiting for you to make that move into that next bunker. So it's pretty much, it increases your survivability. It helps you make that next move safely. It keeps you in the game a lot longer, and it's just good paintball practice in general, especially in this game, whenever someone can just be sitting there waiting for you to make that move, and whenever you make that next bump, they just shoot you right there and you're out the game. So you're always going to want to check off. I'm going to show you a little demonstration behind the camera, a quick camera angle of the field so you can see what I'm talking about as far as checking off, and I'll give you a little bit more information. Okay, so now we're going to go over checking off. We're actually in the bunker right here. So I'm going to say I want to make my move to this Dorito right here, and I want to check off to make sure no one's shooting at me. So usually you'll go through the progression of first understanding that you have to check the bunkers in front of you. You're checking the next bunkers. You see that cake and the tall can. You can wrap a little bit more and check off the home Dorito. You see no one's shooting at you, you check off a little bit more. You see the tower, no one's shooting this way. The W's right there. You can even see that little temple across field. You notice no one's shooting at you. You've checked off all your bunkers, and then you go ahead and you make your move into that next Dorito. Nice and low with your eyes down the field. Your gun should be up. I'm going to recommend with this big W, sometimes they play a little bit further back, so you can't really see them until you take a couple steps here, and then you can finally see them and they have a drop on you. So no matter what, I recommend whenever you're moving to that next bunker down the field, always shoot that W. You just never know whenever someone's in there, and it's going to help you get into your next bunker a lot easier. So that's pretty much checking off in general. Sometimes you know the situation that you've been over here and you know that someone's in this can, so you don't even have to check off really the bunkers all the way in the corner and the tower and the Doritos, because you know you've locked them right here in this can. So you're going to keep them at bay right here, and then you're shooting at potentially that can. You hurry up and check and shoot here, shoot that tower, shoot the temple, shoot the W, and then you're going to make your move very quickly while shooting at that W the whole time to get into your next Dorito. So that's pretty much checking off the field and making your next bump. The only thing I want to add as well, besides shooting your way into your next bunker, always shooting at that W just in case. Just understand, if nobody's out here further wide, typically if you know that they only have this can on this outside, you want to make sure that you don't let your opponents fill to the outside. So if you're in this situation, you're going to want to make sure that someone either has this lane covered, so whenever you make your bump, none of your opponents shift to that outside to get an advantage on you. So another thing you could do is whenever you check and wrap around and shoot this way and shoot at that W, you could come in here real quick and then immediately play that outside, and that's what I recommend to keep that can where he's at so he doesn't fill out. Those are just other little tips as far as keeping dominance over your opponent and keeping them into the trapping them on the inside of the field, which is virtually what you want to do in this game, is to keep your opponents from moving to the outside, and you keep them on the inside of the field. But that's just a little bit of as far as checking off, going through your progressions, looking at the inside of the field to make sure no one's sitting on you waiting for you to make that move. In some situations you might have to wrap all the way around and look to make sure that someone isn't sitting over there on the snake side just waiting for you. But most of the times your check off goes at least to that center W and across field to make sure no one's in those bag bunkers just shooting a lane across. And then after you check those guys off, you're typically good to go. But like I said, always shoot into your bunker just to make sure you no one's sitting in that W just waiting for you. Okay guys, that's my video on checking off. Definitely like to hear what y'all have to say about it. Comment up, let me know what you think in general about it. Do you have anything to add? Give me any feedback, anything in general that you think. But I appreciate you watching, and definitely stick around for more.